Hello everyone, this is Jack Frost with a short update for silver. Before we get into it, I want to say that I'm currently doing a gold analysis 5 times a week with a video at the end of each week, and that is its own membership on pureelliottwave.com. If you're watching the video on YouTube, the link will be in the description below. Overall price has declined after some consolidation, with downward movement expected to continue. On the first weekly chart here, supercycle wave C is expected to continue downwards. It must subdivide as a 5-wave motive structure, and as an impulse is the most likely. That is what we expect. Cycle wave 1 over here also subdivides well as a 5-wave structure, so we expect it to continue as an impulse for supercycle wave C. Within the impulse, cycle wave 2 may be over here, with cycle wave 3 expecting to pull price lower, currently within its third intermediate wave of its first primary wave. It is possible that intermediate wave 2 continues slightly higher. If it does, it cannot move above the start of intermediate wave 1 at 26.123, and if it does, it may also find resistance at the upper edge of this channel here. Cycle wave 3 has a target calculated to reach equality in length with cycle wave 1 at 13.89, and supercycle wave C has a target calculated to reach the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio of supercycle wave A at 7.46. On the daily chart, with the end of cycle wave 2 just up here, intermediate wave 1 subdivides well as a complete impulse, with intermediate wave 2 subdividing well as a complete expanded flat. Within intermediate wave 3 now pulling price lower, minor waves 1 and 2 and minute waves 1 and 2 within minor waves 3 may be over here. Now expecting overlapping third waves at minute, minor, intermediate, and cycle degree. Within intermediate wave 3, no corrective movement can move above its start at 25.264, and intermediate wave 3 has a target calculated to reach the 1.618 Fibonacci ratio of intermediate wave 1 at 20.82. Within that, minor wave 3 has a target calculated to reach the 4.236 Fibonacci ratio of minor wave 1 at 21.43. These overlapping third waves are expected to break out of the lower edge of this base channel just here. And on the alternate weekly chart, we expect cycle wave 2 over at this low, now with price to increase for cycle wave 3. Currently, we are expecting minor wave 3 within intermediate wave 3, within primary wave 3, within cycle wave 3 to pull price higher after a slight correction to continue for minor wave 2 within intermediate wave 3. Within intermediate wave 3, no corrective movement can move below its start at 19.909. These overlapping third waves are expected to break out of the upper edge of this base channel to confirm that they have begun and the previous second wave corrections are finished. Primary wave 3 has a target calculated to reach the 1.618 Fibonacci ratio of primary wave 1 at 31.12, and above that, cycle wave 3 has a target calculated to reach the 1.618 Fibonacci ratio of cycle wave 1 at 46.82. And on the second daily chart, with the end of intermediate wave 1 just here, intermediate wave 2 subdividing well as a complete double zigzag, and now expecting some slight downward movement to continue for the end of minuet wave 5 within minute wave C within minor wave 2. It is possible that minor wave 2 is over at this low, though we will need some bullish confirmation after this candlestick here to expect it to be over and to expect increased upwards movement for minor wave 3 within intermediate wave 3 within primary wave 3. No part of minor wave 2 can move below the start of minor wave 1 at 22.118. Primary wave 3 should break through resistance here as previously mentioned. On the technical weekly charts, there is currently no clear trend as ADX declines. Price nears support at 22, with volume pushing price lower. Within ADX, the negative DX line has just crossed over the positive DX line, indicating a trend change, though there is currently no clear trend on ADX. On balance, volume has broken out of support, giving a bearish signal, which, coupled with price nearing support, volume pushing price lower, and this DX line crossing over, adds weight to the bearish signals. RSI and money flow both neutral, with stochastics neutral and declining. ATR is overall declining with some choppy action, and as ADX indicates no clear trend, we use the model of stochastics and support and resistance, which expects a downward swing where price may find support at 22, where stochastics may reach oversold. And on the daily chart, ADX is indicating a clear bearish trend. On balance, volume has no new range, with volume pushing price lower, though there is a push on this recent bullish engulfing pattern just here, though this bullish engulfing pattern is quite weak as the body is quite small and it has a long bearish upper wick. On balance, volume previously gave a bearish signal as price moved through resistance at 24.5, now nearing support at 22. RSI and money flow both neutral, with stochastics oversold and ATR overall declining as price gets closer to support. That's all for me with your update for silver. Remember to check the description if you want gold analysis 5 times a week, and I hope everyone has a good weekend.